Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was a fantastic 10-rounder that you must go and see. It's on DAZN. You'll love every second of it. It's between Brandon Adams, veteran, 35 years of age. I think he's from California. He came in with 25 wins, 16 KOs, and 3 defeats. And he fought the undefeated Andreas Katzourakis of Greece, who's also, I think he's also based in California. He's certainly in the US, but he came in with 15 wins, 10 KOs. Very contrasting, two very, very contrasting fighters, two very contrasting men, and yet the mutual respect was palpable. You know, they were both respectful beforehand. The fight was rough and tumble. It was won by Katzourakis, who maintained his undefeated record. But my God, you could dispute this. To me, I mean, this fight was so difficult to score. And it was one of those fights, it was so difficult, I thought, thank God I'm not a professional judge. It was one of those ones, because I was hoping this would be a draw. And I'll go on to explain why. It's because you had two styles, right? You had Katzourakis, a pure pressure fighter, absolutely. Gets in close, tries to smother you, tries to just keep enough space to sort of get the levers working. These are 154-pounders, by the way, and Katzourakis is 5'10", so he's a decent height for the weight. Hooking away, banging the body, bringing it up to the head. And you had Adams, who probably has more refined skills. The first 4 rounds of this fight, most of it was spent with Adams with his back to the ropes, slipping and sliding, countering very well, catching a lot of Katzourakis' punches on his gloves, his forearms. It was a case of, what do you like? The eye-catching stuff was from Katzourakis, because he was the one pressuring Adams, keeping him on the ropes. And Adams was kind of voluntarily staying there. He kind of liked it. He was, throwing the odd check hook. And in the second round, there was a hook from Katzourakis that landed way too low. I mean, it was probably closer to Adams's kneecap than his waist, to be honest with you. And he went down. The referee said, he gave him enough time to recover. It was a very, very painful foul. And I don't think it was deliberate. Katzourakis was looking a hook to the body, and it just slipped low. And I almost think he stood off for, sort of, whoa, that was too low. I didn't mean to do that. This fight was fought, even though it was a tough fight, it was fought with a lot of respect, which was great to see, because you got clean work that was sometimes when one fighter is a pressure fighter, the styles don't gel, and you can end up looking at a mauling contest or a wrestling contest. This was far from it. This was anything but that. Katzourakis was cut over the right eye, I think it was. Not a major cut, but it was a little slice on the eyelid. And I think that was as early as the second round. But by the middle rounds, this was a 10-rounder, by the middle rounds, Adams started to move off the ropes and fight more sort of centre ring, leave some space between Katzourakis. It was almost as if he'd kind of tried to draw Katzourakis' sting, and then he thought, okay, second half of the fight, I'm going to go and show you what's what. And he did that. And that's not to say that Katzourakis didn't stop coming forward, but he was getting clipped far more cleanly in the second half of the fight. Again, not to say that he wasn't landing his own punches. He was. There was another low blow from Katzourakis, who was spoken to by the referee, but I think this was the right decision. The referee didn't take a point off. They were kind of. I don't think it was deliberate. I just don't think it was. I think it was just the heat of the moment. But certainly in the second half of the fight, Adams started to he was in the ascendancy, and he was landing some very slick punches. And he's a very crafty fighter, Adams, very, very well schooled, very intelligent fighter. Katzourakis, I think, is trained by Ronnie Shields, a veteran trainer, very, very good trainer. And I think he's worked with Adams before in the past. I mean, if you look at Adams's, his previous, his resume, his previous fights, his last defeat was in 2019 to Jamal Charlo at 154. and that was a unanimous decision. And Charlo dominated him. Prior to that, he lost to Apollo Thompson, who he knocked him out in 2 rounds, but I think that was about 9 or 10 years ago, a long time ago anyway. And then he originally lost his undefeated title, his undefeated record, to Willie Monroe Jr. That was a 10-round decision back in 2014. So no one's ever given Adams anything. He's always had to sort of work for the opportunities. He holds wins over Shane Mosley Jr., a 10-round decision. That Mosley Jr. was quite highly ranked now. And he beat people like Tyrone Brunson, stopped him. These sort of B- fighters. He stopped Serhij Boachuk, who was undefeated at the time, in 8 rounds. And that was a very good win. Very good win, actually, with the benefit of hindsight, yeah. So he can fight. He can absolutely fight. In fact, his last his last fight prior to the Katzourakis fight was early this year. In fact, it was only in August. So quick turnaround for Brandon Adams. But that was against Francisco Veron, and that was a unanimous decision over 10. And Veron was undefeated at the time. So no one's ever given Adams anything, and he certainly won't get given anything in this fight. Because I was really hoping this would be a draw, because I want to see it again. It was also it was the final of a tournament. They both fought semi-finals, and they were meeting for the final for like $100,000, which, God knows they earned it, both of them. I don't know what the runner-up would have got, but whatever it wasn't enough. But I want to see this fight again. Andreas Katzourakis against Brandon Adams has got action, entertainment written all over it. And God knows Adams deserves a return. He deserves it. He's earned it. Both these guys, an absolute credit to the sport. Could have gone either way, this fight. Would have loved to have seen a draw, but weren't meant to be. Will Adams get the rematch? Probably not. Probably not. It's too much like hard work for Katzourakis. He's going to want to move on now. He's 27. Adams is 35, so he needs that rematch more, because time's running out for him, I suppose you could say. Although he didn't hint at being a slow old fighter, not at all. I suppose if you look at the fact that was his 29th fight, and he turned pro in 2011. That's 13 years ago. 29 fights in 13 years isn't that much. He's not got many miles on the clock, and he seems to live the life. And he's very intelligent. You see him interviewed afterwards. He was very, very gracious in defeat. Intelligent guy. Katzourakis, likewise, very respectful. Katzourakis, if you put him in against the top 154-pounders, I think Bud Crawford would beat him. Yeah, the jury's out on the top level. I mean, I think this was an eliminator for one of the belts as well. But he is an action fighter. He's very good at what he does, but there ain't a great deal of refinement or variety there. He's a put pressure on your man, get him where you want him, and then hook away. So he does what he does very well, but I don't see a great deal of variety. I think the top 154-pounders would be able to handle him, but I could be wrong. Good fighter all the same. Anyway, go and have a look at this fight. It's on DAZN. I think you'll enjoy it, and let me know what you think. Please, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and also if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's free. It costs you nothing. You're helping the channel. Thank you very much. Looking forward to reading your comments. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye for now.